You might think that Charles Duhigg, knowing all he knows and like being in the process of writing a book about changing habits, would be able to change a habit just like that, correct? Well, maybe you're right, but not exactly in the way that you think. Actually, in his book, Charles Duhigg mentions that when he was writing the book, he started picking up a bad habit of eating one cookie a day every afternoon, just to kind of break the monotony of writing his book, and then he could go back to his desk and write some more. And after a little while, he had put on some pounds, and he thought it's time to do something about it. And that's also one thing I want to mention. It's not because you're like exactly knowing everything about changing habits that it doesn't mean that you cannot pick up bad habits. This happens to everyone. Failing happens to everyone. Picking up bad habits happens to everyone. You just have to observe, be patient, be self-compassionate, accept failure, and move on. But not just move on, learn the lessons. And don't repeat what doesn't work, because it doesn't work. I've done this mistake so often. So here goes Charles Duhigg, and he's about to try and change his eating cookie habit. But what do you think he does? He doesn't just go there and tell himself, tomorrow I stop eating cookies. That's what a lot of us do, right? We just think that we can quit smoking just because we want to, or we won't eat sugar anymore tomorrow because we don't want sugar in our life anymore. That's not exactly how it works. Maybe it can sometimes, but most of the time that will lead to failure. So learn from it. So what did he do instead? He crafted a plan. He tried to understand why he was eating this cookie. What was the trigger for it? So he realized that he was sort of tired and bored in the afternoon. He had kind of this afternoon low. So that was kind of the trigger, and also the time of the day. And what was the craving? That's where it becomes more difficult. He wasn't sure. Is it because I really want sugar? Do I just want an energy rush? Do I just need to get some fresh air, move away from my desk? Do I want to chit-chat with my colleagues? And that's where the adventure begins. With all of these assumptions, not exactly knowing what was causing him to crave this cookie, he just tried out. So one day he would try and just have a coffee instead. But he noticed that his craving was still there. He still wanted the cookie. One day he would just take a walk around the block. Same story. It wasn't enough. He was still craving the cookie. Until after several episodes of trial and error, he realized that he was really just craving having a good chat with a colleague. So he changed his habit. He could just have anything else. It wasn't the cookie that was needed. He could just take a break and chat with a colleague. So yeah, in a way, would you think that he failed the first day or the second day or the third day? No, he took failure and made it an inherent part of his progress and process. That's what I want to encourage you to do as well, as just look at whatever you think you're failing at and just wonder why. And please don't identify with this failure. It's not you. It's just part of the process. Taking failure as a part of your progress and process to develop, it's part of the growth mindset. It's part of you being willing to go higher and further than you think you were capable of. So how can you change and embrace failure? Here's what I would recommend. Number one is know that you will fail for sure. If you're doing something more ambitious and if you're trying to develop and move out of your comfort zone, you will fail. That's okay. It's part of the process. Number two, when it happens, don't identify with it. Show gratitude and then stop and take a time to analyze what happened. It's even better if you can journal about it and craft a few hypotheses about why you think this even happened. Number three, it's make a new plan. Make a new plan for tomorrow, one that doesn't replicate 100% what you did the day before. Because if you failed, most probably there's something wrong with how you implemented or what you implemented. Take a smaller step, you'll get there, but just failing repeatedly in the same way is not the growth mindset. Even Carol Dweck in her book mentions that a lot of people confuse growth mindset with just putting in a lot of effort. But the growth mindset is different. It's being able to look at what you've done, acknowledging the failure, embracing it, learning what you have to learn from it, but then implementing a plan and doing something different. Because sometimes it's not about repeating the same mistakes again. You gotta adjust at least a little something so that it works the next time. I hope you found this video useful. I'm not only talking about failures here on this channel, rather about how to self-develop and especially how to change your habits for the better. So if you subscribe, you will for sure receive my next weekly video about the topic. And I'd love to hear a comment from you. What did you think about the points I raised, and especially, have you failed lately at something? What was it, and have you learned anything from it? I'd be happy to share this journey with you. Bye!